Do you love gold? Are you a jewelry person? It doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. For me, I love jewelries. One thing I know I kind of idolize. I'm not supposed to idolize anything, but if I'm permitted to use that word, or it's just to show my expression of how much I cherish that accessory. It's wristwatch. I can afford to go out without my earrings, without necklace, without any kind of band. But my wristwatch, and I don't use faulty wristwatches. It's embarrassing. Okay, so nice introduction, because today I want to talk about something special and something imminent, as long as we are human. So why did I start with this introduction of gold or jewelry? I started because I want to talk about goldsmith or smithing. Yeah, I want to talk about smithing. So I would use goldsmith, blacksmith, the two words interchangeably. So I had to look up in my dictionary, and I realized that goldsmith is basically for someone who forges gold into different things, especially jewelries, while a blacksmith forges iron into different materials. Different materials, yes, architectural materials, not just jewelries, but every kind of materials. And I think blacksmiths focuses more on strength, like they use all these materials to ensure that they bend and do all of that just to form whatever material or outcome they want. So both make sense to what I want to say, so I might be using them interchangeably, but just for specification purposes, as I had to explain that, okay, while goldsmith is a person who smithes gold and the blacksmith smithes iron, but both smith, right? So I was in prayer and it just occurred to me, there's this part of the Bible that talks about Jeremiah, God leading him to the potter's house and seeing how the potters remolds and destroys, kind of. So it just occurred to me that sometimes, or most times, we experience changes, we experience a shift in the spirit. God can call you out of a field, out of a purpose, into another, because he's the goldsmith. He's the one smithing you to fit into his purpose. So if today it feels like, okay, you're gonna be good for home decor, he molds you into a very fashionable craft that is gonna beautify the house. And if at other times, if it feels like you're gonna make a very strong iron, or let me say tree, in the kitchen, it's going to remold you, and you go back. You know how the smithing thing works. You go back through the smithing process. You go back into the fire because you need to be remolded. So I just want us to have this mindset in life that I can't always be static. I can't always be like, let's take ministry for example. I'm the evangelist, chief evangelist, and I'm just going to be that. As long as God is in control of your life and he's the one smithing you, he could decide to call you out of that office and okay, we've done evangelism. Everybody's supposed to evangelize, I know, but let's focus more on giving, or let's focus more on prayers, or let's focus more on cleaning the church, or let's focus more on healing the sick. And you just realize that I've not done something like this before, but there's a way it does it. It takes you back to the refinery, or the refining room, or through the refining process, so that you're conformed to a particular style. It then beats you like a blacksmith, hit you, bend you, cut you, and melt you. Then form you into another thing. So what I'm trying to say is, don't get too comfortable in whatever position you are occupying now. This smithing thing, it happens in different ways, in different formats. However, it happens. So it could take God, shooting you up to a position you felt you would never even attain in 10 years, and it could take God like bringing you down below, and you're like, God, what is this? Just trust the process. It's a smithing process. It's a process of refining. It's a process of an end product. So just while you're there, when gold is in fire, it doesn't complain that, why are you doing this to me? We just know, or if the gold has a knowing, it just knows that, okay, I'm not going to, this fire is sure. One thing I am sure about this fire is it is not to destroy me, rather it is to destroy the impurity in me that will not make me useful for my purpose. Proverbs says something. Proverbs says, remove the dross from the silver, and the craftsman would have a sterling silverware, would have a beautiful craft. So when we go through fire and it looks like, oh God, why am I going through this demotion? Why am I going through this oppression? Why am I going through this downtime? Or God, this is massive. Okay, so for me now, I'm in a state of mind where I feel like, hey God, I feel like this responsibility is too much. Can I handle it? Can I do all of that? Even when you're in that position, you feel like, God, this money. Okay, money can never be so much, right? Okay, if you feel like, okay, I'm like the last wife in the family, but it looks like it's only me everybody comes to, and they are reporting this, and you're like, how will I strike balance? Last wife, and all the wives are coming to meet me, and even the mother-in-law is saying, I will bring Kotile. You are there like, this is heavy. Is a process. Just know that fire that you are going through is not to destroy you. Refining fire is not to destroy you. It's to destroy the impurity in you, because God desires to have a crystal, a beautiful, a perfect silverware. So as long as there are impurities in you, you will still stay in the fire. That's it. As long as there are impurities in you, you will still, God will, if it's the Lord that is sitting on you as a refiner, as long as there are impurities in you, He will continue to sit on you until you are totally refined. Now, like I said, that fire is not to destroy you, it's rather to destroy the impurities, those things that are blocking God, that are standing in the way of God having His desired picture in you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I've communicated a lot of things here, but I want you to always remember this, that anything can happen in life. That position you are holding, it's not a forever thing. As long as Lord is sitting on your life as a refiner, He can do and undo with your life. But just know that anytime it takes you to the refinery or takes you through the refining process, it is onto a beautiful silverware. It is onto, that fire is not going to destroy you. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have never had where gold, destroys the fire. It rather, in fact, the greater the intensity of the fire, the shining the gold will be. Right? So, why am I so particular about this? Is okay, maybe because my grandma sold jewelry. She's still alive, so but then she's old. She doesn't do it. And my mom too was really in the business before she got all this white collar job, and so I know a bit of it. There was a time she gave me gold, like pure gold, and so she bought gold for me, and she borrowed me actually, and I misplaced it, and it still hurts. And of course, I'll get another one. That one is another story for another day. So usually, I think one time she held one gold, and it was looking very dull, and I'm not like, this gold, let's trade it. She said, you want to throw gold away? Do you know what you're saying? That we will take it back to the blacksmith, and they would wash it again in fire. And I'm like, what? She said, yes, that's how gold are cleansed. That even if at all it gets dull, or you feel like it's not shining enough, you take it back to the fire. Do you understand what I'm saying here? And I'm like, and she was like, even if you now feel, oh, this gold though is now even completely useless, you don't throw it away. But even if you feel a gold is so dull, like it's not shining, instead of you to even discard that gold, you will take it back to the blacksmith. They will mold it into something else. So it always goes back to the fire for any kind of process, for anything, whether for reformation, for shining, for anything, it goes back to the fire. So I close with this scripture in Malachi 3:3. It says, "He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. He will purify the Levites and refine them like silver and gold." Remember I said, if it's the Lord that is sitting upon your life as a refiner, then according to all that I've said since, you should know that I think you and fire, you will be 5 and 6. Not literal fire now, but you would, if you want to be shining, he will take you. If he's the one sitting on you as a refiner, he would always take you back to the fire. If he wants to remold you into something and make something better out of you, or make something else out of you, like Jeremiah went to the potter's house and the potter was doing all sorts with the clay, you would always go back to the fire. So I think that's why Jesus said, in this life you will face tribulations and trials, but be of good cheer, because I have overcome the world. So the overcoming there is the fact that we know that this fire is not to destroy. It's not a destruction fire. This fire is not a consuming fire. What it will consume is our impurity. Is it's not going to melt you away. It's rather going to melt the impurity. It's going to melt the dross, and you're going to melt those things that are not pleasing to God in you. And it's beautiful to have God as a refiner, because even while you're in that fire, it's still, I don't know how he does it. It's God. He just still turns on AC on you, kind of. And sometimes the joy ahead that, oh, I'm going to come out shining, is better you endure the fire, because it's not useful if you abandon and you feel like, I'm not doing it again, just take me out of this fire, I'm done. You're just going to be there, useless. You won't be appreciated. Gold, like I told you, I love jewelries. Nobody will see good. And my mom said, if you know gold, there is no way, no matter how tiny it is, because there are different, shapes and all. There are some that are really tiny and there are some that are bold. No matter how tiny a gold is, if you know gold, you know good thing, you will know this is gold. No matter, because I wanted to buy one at some point, I didn't buy it eventually. So I was like, this one is so that nobody will know this is good. My mom said, what? You better don't say that. Whoever knows gold, whoever knows jewelry, if you're putting on the original, they will know, because there's a sparkle that it comes with. It will shine in the eyes of people, and they will recognize that this isn't ordinary. So do you rather want to be there, useless, because you don't want to go through fire, or just be there like every other day, like the steel, wood, iron, all of those things? Or you want to stay through the fire process and come out shining, stay in the fire process and come out better, come out in a more, God knows us. So if it feels like, this thing is becoming obsolete for you, and it takes you back to the fire, trust me, the end product of what he wants to reform you into is not something, it won't be a worse version of what you were. It's going to be a better version. Sincerely, trust me. I have a scripture that keeps me going, or that has kept me going in my hard times. Job 23:10. It says, you know the way that I take, and after you're done testing me, I will come forth as gold. I love that scripture. So anytime it looks like things are intense and it's like, God, I'm not moving on again, I'm done, I just remember, so if you come forth as gold, like I just try to imagine how gold is always celebrated. Like even when they award people medals, they paint it in gold, or how will I say it? They give it in gold because they know it's attractive. They know it's valuable. So I just talk to myself like, do you want to be valued in life? Do you want to be valuable? Then stay through the process. Like that the end product of these things, they are coming forth as gold. So why do you want to quit now? If you quit, you just be there abandoned in the refiner's house. And he doesn't want you there abandoned. He wants you to come out as gold so you can shine. I hope you got one or two things. God bless you. God help you to stay through. And please choose the Lord as your refiner. He does a great job.